Coming up on All About Android is just me, Flo, and Ron this week. We discuss Pixel 4's Soli radar, Android Auto's huge redesign is rolling out, waterfall screen displays and what that actually means, the Red Hydrogen 2, Gallery Go, Doom for Android, your email, and a whole lot more coming up next on All About Android.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by DoorDash. DoorDash connects you to your favorite restaurants in your city. Get $5 off your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter promo code Android. And by ZipRecruiter. Hiring is challenging, but there's one place you can go where hiring is simple and smart. That place is ZipRecruiter, where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/Android. And by Expressvpn. Protect your online privacy with one click. Yes, it's that easy. For 3 extra months free with a 1-year package, go to expressvpn.com/allaboutandroid. Welcome to All About Android, episode 431, recorded on Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, your weekly source for latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Ron Richards.
And I'm Florence Ion.
Hello, the triumvirate. Is that what we are? Are we a triumvirate?
We are a triumvirate. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I am barely here.
Well,
because it is 95 degrees in New York City with a real feel of like 106.
Oh my goodness,
buddy.
Okay, I was thinking you were tired.
I swamp your life.
Right now. Well, that's the thing is that I could deal with the heat. I could deal with the being tired and the babies and all that sort of stuff. I can't deal with both. That's the problem.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
The combination. Well, I'm happy that you are here. I'm sorry that it's so blazing hot over there. Yeah. But you live in the New York area.
It is tough.
Just how it goes.
Summer hot. It's not even August yet. I don't know how I'm going to make it. But.
I'm going to correct myself because I mispronounced it. It's triumvirate, not triumvirate, which is what I said. So I had the wrong word in the beginning.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, I rarely ever say that word. That could be the first time that I've ever said it. So
now you should say it more often. Every time you talk about it.
It's part of my vocabulary at this point. Just the three of us today. We got a lot. Yes.
3 of us. Okay, sorry.
Just the 3 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 3 of us.
You and I.
Exactly. Well, actually, there's 4 of us because Victor is here as well. Victor's behind the 1s and 2s today.
Yeah. Was that the Dr. Evil version that you were singing?
Sounds about like, yeah, that's probably what it was.
Oh, my gosh. That's a throwback.
All right. So, speaking of Victor, I hope you're ready because it is time for some big news this week.
We may have some big news on Pixels, but I saw something over the weekend that might be even bigger for Ron.
What?
Was it Android news?
You can't do the news block with a cliffhanger.
So, Ron, I heard you like Morrissey. I saw this at the Hot Topic the other day.
Yeah, I have it on pre-order. I'm getting mine in August when Amazon ships it. Yeah, I ordered it like in like March.
I should have asked you beforehand how you feel about Funko Pops, but this means that he's mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe not cool anymore.
We're talking less about him lately for other reasons that I'd like to not discuss.
Yeah, he's been in the news for a whole multitude of other things.
Listen, it's complicated. It's very complicated.
Kind of surprising the Funko Pop thing is still happening. But anyways.
Right. Sorry about that.
They are a machine. They are like, trust me, we just did San Diego Comic-Con was a couple of weekends ago, and the Funko Pop parade, their booth was just insane. It's like they really tapped into something with those collectibles, and like my nieces love them. Like they're all over my office. Like everyone loves them for some reason. Yeah. And what's interesting is that people love them. They take them out of the box, but just as many people just buy them and leave them in the box. Like the box is part of it too. It's weird.
Absolutely. So. It taps into that whole like tendency for collectors to buy things and keep them in the box, and that's how you show it off. That's how
like
it's a
Beanie
display
Babies,
piece.
keep the tag on.
Yeah, exactly. But then at the same, it's one of those. I feel about Funko Pop and the success around Funko Pop is kind of one of those things that feels so obvious now. Like anybody could have come up with that. But dang it, they were the ones that figured it out, and obviously there's a huge market for it. I'm sure it's way more complex behind the scenes, but pretty cool. Anyways, crazy. you got the top news, and I'm jealous.
Well, yeah, listen, I mean, bigger news than Funko Pop or anything else. The biggest news this week is like, look out, everyone. Google has a hit on their hand.
Already.
Maybe.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but Google is really doubling down on teasing the Pixel 4. Before it's announced. We saw a couple of weeks ago when there's all those rumors were going around, and they decided to settle it and they tweeted about it. Well, most recently, the Google blog post details 2 features of the upcoming Pixel 4: Motion Sense, which uses the Soli radar chip in front for detecting hand motion control. You can skip songs, snooze alarms, silence phone calls, and stuff like that, as well as Face Unlock, where the Soli detects that you're about to pick up your phone and fires off the Face Unlock hardware sensors. It's using facial recognition algorithms that are stored on the device in the Pixel Titan M security chip. And what's even more amazing is that they shared a close-up image diagram of the top of the Pixel, showing all the sensors contained within the top bezel. Boo, there's a bezel, but still.
But it's a bezel that justifies itself. Look at all that stuff up there.
Yeah, no hands.
Sensors. It's a packed bezel. And this all comes on the heels of Google having a hit that Pixel unit sales for Q2 more than doubled year over year. And that's definitely directly attributed to the Pixel 3a boosting those sales. Yeah. So Pixel sales are on the upward trend, and so Google's just doubling down, and they're giving you little tidbits of the Pixel 4 before it gets announced, which is pretty unheard of, right?
Yeah, I mean, yet again, what was it, like a month ago that there were those rumors and Google came out with its post and it's like, all right, here you go. Here it is. And we're like months away from the Pixel 4 happening. And then we started hearing about this bezel and all the technology that's in the bezel. And now they do a blog post and they're like, yep, here it is. Take a look. Oh, by the way, it's really cool. That Soli thing that we've been talking about for years. Yep, that's coming here. Just an interesting approach from Google to basically harness the power of these leaks ahead of time so that when we finally get to the announcement, we're not let down. Even though we'll know everything, it's like based on their own hype, and it's actually cool features.
That's what I say. I think this is pretty genius because we've been talking over the past year how there are no surprises in phones, how everything gets leaked ahead of time. We see renders, we know about features, and the presentations tend to just be, just confirming what we've heard. Google doing this allows to not only respond to those rumors and either quash them or support them, but also distract from the things that aren't being leaked. Mm-hmm. So that when we do get to the Pixel announcement, I guarantee there's going to be some wow factor that we don't even know about because we've been so distracted by the leaks and then Google confirming the leaks. I think this is a genius strategy.
Yeah. How do you feel, Flo? Are you wowed by Soli in a Pixel 4 Face Unlock with like an actual, a better technology solution for Face Unlock that rivals Apple's version?
Face Unlock never works for me. Never works for me, especially if I'm like wearing makeup or sunglasses, which I have a collection of. Okay. We'll see how this fares, when this phone comes out. But I do want to bring up the fact that Soli was solely intended for wearables and instead is being put completely into this new phone, which just goes to show where Google is banking its money. I just think that's quite interesting considering the trajectory that's been the last couple of years. So, I mean, it'll be a fun commercial on TV,
right?
Show a little like whatever you can do there. I hope it works better than whatever LG's got going on with the G8. But as far as will it increase the phone's value for me? Like, will it make me want to buy it? Probably not, because everything I love is already in the Pixel 3. which is the camera.
And until the Pixel 4 comes along, and then you're going to love that too. Yeah, who knows? You're right.
I don't know if that's going to happen because remember, I ended up spending $1,300 on the Pixel 3 after I broke it and fixed it. So I kind of like put a cap on that because I realized that I definitely overspent my budget. So I think I might end up skipping this one in terms of upgrading, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're convincing yourself right now that it's not as cool as the Pixel 3. That's what I see going on here. You're like, yeah, I spent a lot on the 3, so I got to keep it. So therefore, the Pixel 4 is not cool.
But I'm just echoing what so many consumers out there are dealing with in their own as well, okay? Yeah. I am speaking for the consumers here.
Yeah, understood. And fair enough, because I'm assuming this is not going to be a cheap phone. Based on what we already know about the price of the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3, this is going to be in that same price category. And oh, by the way, it's going to have a first-of-its-kind Soli radar up in the top and, you know, a couple of extra sensors that a Pixel phone has never had before, completely devoted to face unlock in the similar way that iPhones are, where it puts out the dot matrix, or at least I'm assuming, because they have multiple sensors on the phone dedicated to face unlock. So it's not just a camera.
But what if the Pixel 4a
6 months later after the Pixel 4.
6 months later has this, I don't know, I heard the news that Google was selling more 3As than 3s just because of that price differentiation. So I kind of feel like these phones are really just the look what we can do. And then the A phones are going to be the here's something more in your price range.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been saying for years, that we needed a mid-range phone from Google, that we and I feel so validated this is working. And it's funny because that we said, you know, that they've boosted their unit sales in Q2 more than 2x. But that's unit sales, that's not dollar sales, right?
True.
But what's genius about that is that Google doesn't give a crap about dollars.
Doesn't need it.
I mean, they do, but they're billion dollar company.
Right.
They're not a hardware startup that's going to live or die by their phone sales. Right. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get market penetration for Android and for the Google ecosystem. As everyone fights for users in their ecosystem. That's the real play. So I mean, I'm surprised it took this long to get an affordable Nexus or Pixel or whatever Google device that there is. And clearly, it was the right move because it doubled their sales. That's such a testament to the fact that not everybody wants a $700 to $1,000 flagship phone. Yeah. Some people just want to spend $350.
Now, Pixel. So, Victor, go to that Google blog post page, and there's a video up at the top, and it's pretty short, but it shows you Google's high priced promotional kind of walkthrough, a little tease of what the technology with the Soli radar up top can do. And this is neat, right? Skipping tracks right now, as you can see, by waving the hand in the air, looking at the phone and having the phone come on, that's a part of it. So, it has this awareness, which we saw early leaks in Android Q of this like face awareness sort of feature. And now we understand what that was tied to. But we've seen other phones do this. Wasn't it the LG G8 that had air gestures and it used the camera? And I would not say that it was a screaming success for the LG G8. I hope I'm getting that model number right.
Yes.
But then it was doing it differently. Like it was doing it with a camera, so it was really fiddly. This is a radar that they've proven for years now is specifically meant to pick up this sort of movement, and they promise more capabilities over time. So I'm curious about that. I don't know how necessary it is, though. Although if I'm driving, it would be really cool to be able to go like back one track, forward one track, or answer or whatever. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say, I have a feeling that these phones are going to become more of the look what Google's doing with all of this stuff, because this is I could see this very easily being put into like the next hub.
Yeah.
Or the next smart
for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. So that you don't have to actually talk to it if you don't want to.
Well, and And this is the thing where if you take the flagship phone, if you take the $1,000 phone, you put all the bells and whistles and all that stuff, and this is where they can show off what they can do with technology and the phones and the AI and stuff like that. And then you do a Google Pixel 4a that doesn't have Soli and still has the good camera and still sells. Mm-hmm. There's an aspirational level. There's the idea that yes, I'm on a 4a, but man, I'm saving my money to go to the 4, or I want to get the 5. Like it builds a tier system of where users want to attain to themselves to. And I think, it still gives them the flexibility to show stuff off like Soli.
Yeah. Yeah. This definitely feels like a way for Google to show off the technology and then roll it into other hardware. I think you're absolutely right.
Oh my gosh, this ecosystem is going to grow so much in the next couple of years in a very exponential way. Just like all those things Google is showing off at the old IOs way back in Moscone Center days. Like it's going to be wild.
It's going to be so wild.
Wild.
Well, one thing that we've been waiting for that have been shown was shown at this last year's I/O was an Android Auto redesign. If you remember, Google is doing a top-to-bottom approach to redesigning the Android Auto interface for in-dash units. Their strategy is shifting, of course. So, if you have Android Auto on your phone, like that's going in a different direction. That's going to be more embedded into Assistant. But if you have an in-dash unit that has Android Auto, you're probably going to get an update sometime over the next couple of weeks. And you're going to see big changes, a new darker theme throughout, a new app launcher that's designed to work with fewer taps. It looks really sharp. Some app icons will actually have an assistant badge that when you tap them will read out the relevant information tied to that app. So like a calendar event or maybe a weather report or reminders, that sort of stuff. Still a little fuzzy on that. I'd love to see that in action to see what that means. Media playback actually picks up where you left off last. So it remembers where you are in a piece of media the next time you hop in. That's cool. Kind of one of those features that I figured why didn't it do that before? That makes a lot of sense. And then I think the thing that a lot of people are really looking forward to is a persistent nav bar at the bottom that always shows media controls so they don't hide away or anything like that. It also includes a one-tap access to things like missed calls and messages and that sort of stuff. I've not played around with it, but I think visually it looks nice. I think the real test is go ahead and drive around the city with this for a week and see if it improves your experience, and that's the big test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it looks nice. What do you think?
I don't get to benefit from this because I have the phone version of Android Auto. Yeah. I do not have the in-dash. I know some of the reviews are coming out today about it. When I reviewed the original Android Auto like a couple of years ago, I remember I liked it, but it just felt very unfinished, that sort of way. I guess I'm just really waiting for what's coming to the phone. That's where it's really going to matter for me. I hope people like this. I hope people continue to ask for it in their cars. I hope it continues to grow, because the nice thing about having Android Auto and then also for Apple users CarPlay is if you're renting a car, for instance, you just jump in and plug your phone in and you have everything just available to you right there through the car. So I like the idea of having an app that is the car mode for your phone, no matter the phone you have. So
friend of the show, Phil Nickinson, aka Modern Dad, posted his review. He's been playing around with this new version for a week and he's all about it. Very, very excited about it. Says it's a really great change. So there's that at least. Yeah, I'm the same flow. I don't have it embedded in my car, so I get none of the benefits from here. I'm a little hesitant on this idea of rolling the auto stuff into Assistant. I guess I can kind of understand why Google wants to do that on phones, but I'm just not convinced that it's going to be the same. But anyways, I guess we'll see.
I mean, it's just they're just doing, and they're not doing whatever they can, but they're looking for wherever they can make Assistant become that much more crucial to your experience. How many people have cars without a head unit and have those little suction cup things that put their phone in it and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And and Flow, and right, and there have been a lot of critics, Flow included, of that interface and distracting you from it and all that sort of stuff. A great solution is make it Assistant. Say, okay, Google, and have and extend. Why shouldn't the Android Auto functionality not be an assistant when we're in our home using it with Hub and we're on our phone using it. Like, it just seems like a natural extension, and it takes away some of the safety concerns of having a UI on a display.
Yeah. So we shall see.
Well, I'll be the judge of that one when Android Q goes live. I'll see how it works with the Rove Bolt that I have in my car now, and hopefully it's a lot more usable than what we have now, because tapping on a 5.5-inch screen it's a lot when you're also trying to pay attention to the road.
Yes. Please pay attention to the road.
Yes.
Or pay attention to Nintendo Switch when you're not driving. Right?
Yes.
That was an attempt at a
Never
segue.
had my Nintendo Switch in the car because I get car sick.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm usually the one driving. But if you have a Nintendo Switch in your home or in your bag, which you can actually install Android on it. Why you would want to do that, people have been asking. My answer is, why the heck not? This is why the world of modding exists, because people love to have fun this way. So if you've been reading XDA this week, you may have seen that Lineage OS, which is like another open source version of a community-oriented open source version of Android, Lineage OS 15.1, the version of Android 8.1 is now capable of being installed on the Nintendo Switch. You can play NVIDIA exclusive content with it. And though there's a lot of known bugs at the moment, like the battery life's really bad, there's auto rotation issues, the touchscreen sensitivity is imperfect. Again,
it's awesome. Why wouldn't you do this then? I mean, touchscreen issues, awesome.
You also need a hackable version of the Switch, which those were more a part of the first gen batch. Okay, I believe now they've made it a lot harder to find that. But I am just, this is why I love Android, because the modding community is like, what else can we put it on? And sure, it makes no sense why you would put it on your Nintendo Switch. But if you had one laying around and you wanted to do a weekend project and see what you could do, please have at it.
But this wasn't surprising to me, because isn't the Switch basically just running a Nintendo flavor of Android? And isn't the Switch just an NVIDIA Shield tablet with a Nintendo bezel?
Yeah, it has the Tegra chip inside, similar to the Shield tablet. I don't know that the Switch is based on a version of Android. I don't believe
it's like an Android embedded system. Think of it that way.
I didn't realize that.
It's that, like, QNX.
Okay. So my question about this, though, is, all right, so you've got a Nintendo Switch, and obviously you have it, primarily you have it because Nintendo Switch is an ecosystem that has its own games, and you love it, and yada, yada, it's Nintendo. But then you install Android on it. Can you go back to the Nintendo, or is it just now an Android device? Like, is it a dual boot thing? I couldn't really figure that out. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to turn their Nintendo Switch into just an Android device. And why would you do that?
And not be able to get your Switch back.
Yes. Right. I have to imagine that's not what happens here. This must be a partition for Android.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, too. So if you're thinking about this, do your research. I mean, even the XDA post, the very top of the post says, disclaimer, don't break your stuff, okay? That might be enough to talk you out of it, right? Like, this is a Nintendo Switch. Nintendo is not going to support your hardware if you go in there and do this.
100% not.
So keep that in mind. But
Nintendo
cool
does not like that.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm reading on the XDA post under known bugs. Wi-Fi may randomly stop working. If this happens, just reboot. It's fine. Just reboot.
Yeah, you might have to reboot a couple of times, but eventually it'll work. No big deal. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Just let the kids have their fun, okay?
Yes. Okay. Hey,
that's great.
There's obviously a reason to put Android on a Nintendo Switch, and that I'm not aware of. I think because it opens up. I mean, yeah, sure, it opens up apps and games or whatever, but it also opens up a web browser. The Nintendo Switch does not have a web browser on it, right? Like, you can't really just surf the web on a Nintendo Switch. I don't think.
It does actually.
Does it?
Because you can post social media posts through like a browser-based app.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the Wii had a browser too. Yeah, they always put a browser in there.
I thought that too, but I thought the Nintendo Switch was a little different, where it didn't have just like an open to the web. Okay, Bleak's saying he thinks it does now, so this was probably old news. It didn't initially, and now they've. Anyways, who knows? Hey, maybe you know why you'd put Android on a Nintendo Switch. Let us know.
It has YouTube and Hulu, which people do use on there.
It's true. I mean, the answer Flo gave the answers. Like, why not? Like, why do it? Why not? But I still love the touchscreen. Sometimes the text touches even when your finger is just floating over the screen.
It's Project Soli on the Nintendo Switch.
Or how about this one? If TV looks odd and grainy when docking, then redock a few times.
Yes.
Not like redock once or twice, a few times.
Oh, man. Let's work on getting that little bug list cut down a hair. All right.
Oh, that's too funny.
So Bleak does say it didn't at launch, but now it does have the browser. So thank you for that. All right, let's take a break and thank the sponsor. And then we've got a long hardware block. We've got a little bit of a kind of a game sort of thing to tie into it, because why the heck not? Sometimes it's fun to change things up. Before that, let's thank the sponsor. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by DoorDash. DoorDash connects you to your favorite restaurants in your city. So if you've had a long day at work, tough day at school, you're stuck at the office, and you're like, oh, I just don't want to have to deal with this food thing when I get home, you can treat yourself to the meal that you deserve on demand from your favorite restaurant. You don't even have to go anywhere. Restaurants come to you with DoorDash. And it's super simple. Ordering is easy. You just use the DoorDash app and choose what you want to eat, and a Dasher will bring it to you anywhere you are. Not only, that burger place that you love, that's probably on DoorDash already, but over 310,000 other amazing restaurants are there too. DoorDash connects you with door-to-door delivery in over 3,300 cities in all 50 states and Canada. You can order from your local go-tos, or even choose some of your favorite chains like Chipotle, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, the Cheesecake Factory, and so many more. You don't have to worry about dinner, because dinner's coming to you with DoorDash, or maybe dessert's coming to you with DoorDash. Sometimes you find yourself at work and you're prepping for a show that you produce and host. Like, let's just, for example, say All About Android, just as an example. Just throwing that out there.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically speaking, you're in a meeting an hour ago and you decide to open up the app and order some food for your show. And then what do you know? A local cupcake place called Sift is delivered right to you through DoorDash. Jason. And then I forgot to open this before. Okay, good. That was easy. And then you open it up and you realize, I've got 6 cupcakes to eat. I'm going to be full. See, that's the beauty of DoorDash. I just ordered it and like 40 minutes later.
I choose a bad day not to be in the studio, clearly.
Hey, Jason, is that upper left cupcake a like a cookies and cream kind of Oreo cupcake going on there?
It looks to be. Yes, I can't remember. Man. I kind of just I know that's is that
coconut?
That's like a
macaroon.
Oh man. So listen, I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to go to Kennedy and get on a plane. I'll be there in about 6 hours. Right. Can you do another DoorDash order when I get there for fresh cupcakes?
Sure. But these will still be here. No one's eating these, Ron. No one's totally going to eat these in the next 2 hours. This one has bacon on top, by the way. That's bacon.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably a special one right there. I might have to eat that one. Anyways, you get the point. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off their first order of $15 or more. When you download the DoorDash app, make sure and enter promo code Android. That's $5 off your first order of your own cupcakes or whatever you choose to order when you download the DoorDash app from the App Store and enter promo code Android. Again, that's promo code Android for $5 off your first order from DoorDash. We thank DoorDash for their support of All About Android. And for the, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a stomachache from the sugar a little bit later, but you know what?
It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Well, I counted 6 in there. I think there's like 7 of us still in the office.
No.
Right?
It's going to be Hunger Games. Literally, it's going to be Hunger Games. Somebody's going to be hungry. Okay. Now it's time for hardware.
Nice.
Sometimes you just don't know how jokes are going to land. You just you don't know. Just got to roll with the punches.
All right.
So
it's time.
So we're putting together today's show, and there was just so much stuff in hardware, and I just really didn't want to kill anything. It was like, no, normally I kind of will it down and be like, all right, 3 of the best. But there's so many good ones here. And so we were talking, and then we chatted with Victor, and we were like, why don't we come up with like a timer system? And we've got some time and a buzzer, and we're like under the gun, which is not to say that we have to talk about these things fast, but we have a certain amount of time during which we can talk about them, and then we're done.
It's something I like to call the hardware clock.
The hardware clock. Okay, that works.
There it is.
And I think also a rule here is that we don't have to go 2.5 minutes. So the clock is set at 2.5 minutes. Some of these we might actually have a hard time talking 2.5 minutes about it. Is that going to throw you off, Victor, if we get there?
No,
because then we can just stop and reset and then go on to the next thing, right?
Yeah,
it might also be way more trouble than it's worth. We'll find out over the next 15 minutes.
Oh, and I'll just say you'll know when you're getting close to over. So
okay.
To your point, is 2.5 minutes too generous? Do we want to make it? Do we want to make this more interesting and make it shorter?
Okay. Well, what other options do we have?
I have 1 minute and 2 minutes and 2.5.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
let's go.
What do you think?
Let's go with
because I feel like 1 minute we're like setting up. We're not discussing. It's like
right. So let's do 2 minutes.
Let's do 2 minutes.
Let's do 2 minutes.
2 is good.
Okay, that sounds. Oh, I like that overlay. Number. Look at that overlay. That's fancy.
Victor's bringing his A game.
All right, Victor, you ready? And we might actually let's convene after this one. We'll see if 2 minutes is too long. All right.
Okay.
All right. You ready to go? Here we go. We can start now. Oppo has been showing off a prototype of what it calls a waterfall screen. Have you ever heard of waterfall screen before? It's an 88-degree fold on the left and right sides. It eliminates side bezels entirely, you guys. No specs, dates, or price shared here, but you can see it kind of folds over the side, which is neat. That's not all, though. Sister brand Vivo is also working on something like this. Ice Universe on Twitter leaked the screen glass of the Vivo Nex 3. It has a 90-degree curved glass as well. Screen-to-body ratio, they say, is, quote, over 100%, which is mathematically impossible. No hole, no notch, is a complete screen, and the forehead and chin are also top level, said Ice Universe. I don't know what complete screen means. I don't know what over 100% means. I don't know what you do if you drop one of these suckers. What do you guys think?
I like that Oppo is just making stuff up now, right? Like
sure.
A complete screen that's over 100%. Like you can't be over 100%.
Maybe that's because when it wraps around, the screen continues to go down, and that's like the 110% or whatever. I don't know.
This reminds me a lot of my OnePlus 7.
Okay.
Which has the same waterfall. I don't know if it's as extreme as 88 or 90%.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got the rounded. It's got no top. It's got no front-facing camera, and it's got the side. Both the sides kind of fall down on that. I you know me. I like eliminating bezels. I'm all for it.
Okay, Flo, you're gonna have to talk over the music. What do you think?
It looks like a note.
Okay, so it looks like a note on the front. The back of this, of course, I think is normal traditional design, but the Vivo is glass front and back. Problematic? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
All right.
Yep, you got played off.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was expecting like
It's not an award show.
I was expecting
I know you're a big fan of award shows, Ron. So I had to.
I do the pageantry. I do like that.
I don't know if we go 1 minute. I think 1 minute was like I was getting done with my setup.
Yeah, 1 minute is too short. I think 2 minutes is the sweet spot.
Okay.
I think 130 would make it really interesting. Unfortunately, I don't think Victor has that.
Yeah, I don't think we have 130.
I want to feel like the impending, like it's like in Jeopardy when Alex Trebek says we've got one minute left, and you're like, oh God, get more in.
Gotta say smart things.
All right, let's stick with 2. We'll
stick with 2. Flo, you're up next.
All right, so where's my timer?
There we go.
So speaking of the Note, if you want to pre-order it, you can before you even know what's going to be happening with it. You can pre-order it. Isn't that great?
Oh, wow.
So the Galaxy Note is about a week away, and you can reserve your place in line at Samsung's site. If you reserve in advance, you get a $50 credit towards other products once it releases. Maybe use that for those headphones that are pretty awesome. You also get access to the pre-order. Cool. Some of the Galaxy Note 10 tidbits that we've sort of been rumoring about is there's going to be 2 different versions. A standard Galaxy Note 10, which will be the smaller of the 2, might not have a Quad HD display, but instead a full HD Plus display, a first since its 2014 release. Also, it'll have an IP69 rating, which is up from the IP68 on the Note 9. I'd really like to know what that means.
Well, here you go.
It means it's completely dust tight and a step up in water resistant for most phones. Again, what I mean by that is I like to put it to test. Samsung also says that this would be protection against high pressure, high temperature jet sprays, wash downs, or steam cleaning procedures. Okay, for people like me who take it in the shower. And yes, the headphone jack will be going away.
Who's power washing their phone? That's what I want to know. But hey, more water protection is better than none or less. Like I would always take more, right?
Sure.
Listen, we're going to give you less water protection.
Yeah, like I'm cool. You could step that up. I'm not really quite sure what that applies to. Still survives a dunk in the toilet, and I think that's what 90% of this is all about anyways. So, okay. Galaxy Note 10 announcement is next week. Happens next Wednesday. We will have live coverage here at Twit. We'll talk about it again next Tuesday. Ron, are you interested in this phone? No, he's not.
I like that you were able to get
the walk-off music.
It was just a little quieter this time.
I like that you're able to get a plug in 2 minutes. All right, start the clock, reset the clock. Let's do it. We're staying on Samsung, folks. All right, Victor.
All right. He's working on it. Okay, there we go.
All right, so while we're still talking about Samsung, of course, my favorite topic and yours, the Galaxy Fold, has now got a re-release sometime in September, according to Samsung. In fact, Samsung announced changes that include reinforcements to the screen, the internal structure, and the hinge to keep dust out and to keep the phone more rigid. Samsung provided renders of the change, not photos of real devices, rather renders, which are often like those speculative things that we see on Twitter.
Could look like
they're not actual photos, but trust us, this is real. They fixed it. No change to the price. It's still going to be $1,980, and you would think that this would change the tide on the opinion of the Fold. But T-Mobile announced that while the Galaxy Fold will work on the T-Mobile network, it will not sell them. And this is after T-Mobile initially planned on selling them when the Fold was first announced. And AT&T has not commented on whether it has plans to sell them or not. What do you all think of this? Or do you think the Fold, they fixed it? Or do you think that T-Mobile is right by saying we don't want anything to do with this phone?
T-Mobile doesn't want to have to push units. It's going to have a hard time pushing. I think they're going to sell more notes.
Yeah, maybe part of that. I wonder if T-Mobile had an indication of what the pre-order numbers were from the beginning, and maybe they weren't that strong. It was like, you know what, not worth the headache that we had to deal with. We had to cancel all these pre-orders. Our brand had to take a hit because Samsung didn't,
training employees for this thing. Yeah. Like they have to train salespeople.
Yeah.
You know what T-Mobile decided to do? They decided to fold up and walk away.
Oh, they know when to fold them. That's for sure. T-Mobile knows when to fold them.
Right. Thank you. I'm done.
Yes. Good work. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure Samsung figured this out well enough, but wouldn't it suck if it came out and bam, we had another issue? I'm also bracing for that impact.
Wouldn't it suck?
Wouldn't it suck for Samsung? Wouldn't suck for me. Let's see here. This one might be a 1 minute. Let's do a 1 minute on this one. We'll see. We'll see how it works on this one.
From here on out, let's try 1 minute. Let's just do it.
I think we can do it. All right.
We can do it.
In other flexible display news, ZTE Nubia confirmed that the Nubia Z20 will officially be unveiled next month. Flexible display, though not foldable, curves on the sides, just not just curved glass, but actually curved display, whatever that means. 8K video recording, which sounds amazing until you realize that it's only 15 frames per second. So that's just a list on a spec sheet. 20 times hybrid zoom. The announcement will also include a new VR headset that you probably won't care about. August 8th announcement. What do you guys think?
What it's like listen, it's flexible 8K 15 frames per second and VR. It's like they picked terms out of a hat.
Yes, buzzwords.
It's smartphone bingo.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly. Like let's do VR. Let's do 8K. Let's do.
I'm actually curious what 8K video recording at 15 frames per second actually looks like. That's kind of closer to stop animation, right? 15 frames per second.
Yeah, it is.
That's detectable enough to be like, oh.
I just love that ZTE's got nothing to lose. Why not?
Why not? It's the way of the world.
ZTE. Why not?
Nothing to lose. All right, Flo, you got the next one.
Nokia is a name that we are still talking about in Android circles, also known as HMD Global. So they're working on the Nokia 8.2, the sequel to the 8.1. It's expected to launch with Android Q, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. Boy, that's a lot. Yeah. Unreleased Snapdragon 735. Pop-up selfie camera with a 32 megapixel camera instead of the notch found on the 8.1. And Nokia does have 2 5G phones in the works for a Q3 2019 launch. So this could very well be one of them. And also, the Nokia 9.1 is coming soon, likely to be one of the other 5G phones with a Snapdragon 855, Android Q, and improved PureView camera array on the back. Or as I like to call them, spider eyes.
Spider eyes. What do you think of spider eyes, Ron?
That's a lot of dots.
It's a lot of dots.
It looks like a rotary phone.
Is it
a lot of lenses to clean from smudging.
And the last array really didn't impress that many people. It was like lots of cameras, not very impressive.
We need a buzzer.
I know the buzzer. Yes, I like the playing off, but then at the very end, just like a loud, obnoxious.
It's okay. This is first gen. Gen.
Yeah.
No, this is even pre-first gen. This is this is alpha. Here we go. All right. So listen.
On the next one.
I love it, Victor. Thank you.
This is great, Victor. I love it. Okay, listen, if you're going to get a gaming phone, you want a badass name, and Xiaomi knows this. Yeah. So they're giving you the Black Shark 2 Pro. It's a 6.39 AMOLED display with improved touch latency of 34.7 milliseconds. It's got a Snapdragon 855 Plus, 12 gig of RAM, 128 or 256 gig of storage. It's a lot. Direct touch multi-layer liquid cooling system.
Whatever that is.
Because you need a cooling system in your gaming phone.
Yeah.
This is just the best. I lost my place. It's got improved grips on the back. It's got 2 more RGB LEDs than the previous model. It's got more LEDs. It's got a 48 megapixel and 13 megapixel rear camera, and 20 megapixel front camera, 4,000 milliamp battery. 7-watt fast charge. Yeah. It's got a display fingerprint sensor because, of course. Yeah. You can get this in China on August 2nd, in India in a few months. It's going to be $435 to $580.
And we've got no more time. We ran out of time.
Ron progressively got more like,
yeah.
Randy Savage all the way there.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You want a gaming phone?
You should have snapped into a Slim Jim before that one.
With 200,000 LEDs on the back. Oh, yeah.
I really think we should do hardware specs in wrestling promo tone from there on out.
I agree.
Listen, Mean Gene. I've got a phone for you. All right, finally, remember the Hydrogen one from Red? Founder Jim Gennard says that a Chinese company that Red worked with on the phone was to blame for all the phone's issues. Says the Hydrogen 2 will be better. It's rebuilt from scratch in partnership with a different partner, I'm guessing also Chinese, based on what he said. Also hard at work on the promised camera module that they never delivered on, this time with the new ODM. That's now called the Komodo. It says it will exceed the capabilities of the previous one. Hydrogen 1 owners will get preferential treatment for the 2 and camera module, as well as a discount. And you can finally get your hopes up, but also realize Red pushed out a turd to market, even when it knew it was a turd. It centered on a gimmick. It was poorly designed. It was crazy expensive. So yeah, there's a lot to overcome. What do you guys think?
Why would you go back to the well?
Use the word turd.
Yeah, you did. Why would you even try to do it again? Just move on. It didn't work.
I mean, they got to iterate, right? Flo, should they iterate? Do you think it's worth it?
Don't go back to him. He's not right. He's not the right one for you.
He's not right for you.
Move on.
I hope they're partnering with ZTE.
Oh, that very well could be. I guess that remains to be seen. And that is the end of, what did you call it?
The hardware clock.
The hardware clock.
Hardware
dun,
clock.
dun, dun.
Oh, yeah. It's the hardware clock. Coming to get you.
I'm going to get you.
Victor, feel free to put some wrestling memes in there for the next iteration of this.
And we need a klaxon. We need a klaxon.
That was amazing. Victor, thank you for making those.
Thank you, Victor, for queuing that up.
And I love that you gave us options because it really did come in handy. I feel like 2.5 minutes on all of those would have
that would have been an eternity. It would have been an eternity.
All right, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Oh, yeah, that could even be the title. So that's our hardware block, our massive hardware block with the hardware clock. And up next, we're going to get into apps. But before we do that, let's thank the sponsor of this episode, and that is ZipRecruiter. Oh, yeah. Hiring used to be hard. If you ever had to hire, you already know this. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process. It's never easy to just find the right people, let alone collect all that information and make sure that you can get in touch with them and offer them something so that they can work for you. It's all difficult. But today, hiring can be easy, finally, and you only have one place to go to get it done. That place is ziprecruiter.com/Android. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But that's not all. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find the people with the right experience and then invite them to apply to your job. And then as those applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one, spotlights the top candidates so you don't miss a great match. And it works really well. ZipRecruiter is so effective, in fact, that 4 out of 5 of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And it's just really easy. You kind of, people who are looking for jobs, they might go on there and fill out a profile. That's how it matches to you. You've got all of these different aspects of your job, qualities in a person that you're looking for. You don't have to do all the hard work on matching these things. ZipRecruiter really does it for you. My wife's used ZipRecruiter for her business. It was super easy. She got qualified candidates. She was able to make a hiring decision. It could work for you too. Right now, All About Android listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at our exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/Android. And you can show your support for this show as well as ZipRecruiter by going to ziprecruiter.com/Android. Go to that web address, ZIPRECRUITER, ziprecruiter.com/Android. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire. Check it out for yourself. And we thank ZipRecruiter for their support. And now, just a few little tidbits and apps and no timer.
Listen, I'm really glad that there's no timer because doing that Macho Man Savage voice does not make my throat feel good.
I know. I'm kind of raspy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of rough. Yeah.
Same.
Challenging.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Sorry. Just so good. There was an episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast where Randy Macho Man Savage played Space Ghost's grandfather, and it was just Space Ghost with a beard and Macho Man's voice, and it was the greatest thing ever. So
I'm
go
the
watch
Macho
that.
Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. Wasn't he also snapped into Slim Jims, if I'm not
Yes, he did.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was in the first Spider-Man movie. He was playing Bonesaw McGraw.
Oh. Okay.
He was the wrestler that Spider-Man wrestles. So, yeah.
Oh, of course he was.
Yeah.
All right, Flo, from wrestling to pictures and galleries.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This picture app, it's not as heavy as your favorite wrestlers.
No.
It's not heavy at all. It's called Gallery Go. It's for people who are on the go. Not really. Excuse me. I was trying not to cough the whole time. So this is a lightweight 10 megabyte app for offline organization and editing of photos and videos. It's from Google. It's supposed to be kind of the Photos Lite version, so that when you're logging in, you're not just loading every single library that you have on your phone. The app uses the Google Photos machine learning magic for organization and search, but it all does it on the device. So you don't have to worry about the connection that you have in order to do all those fancy things. It also audio enhances and filters, but it does that at night when you plug in your phone. It doesn't do it during the day, so you won't be bothered with those notifications as Google Photos is wont to do. It also offers some pretty basic editing tools, the same way Google Photos does. And it, again, I said it was designed for people on the go. It really is designed for developing markets, but it's available to anybody who just wants a lighter photo app on their phone from Google. Maybe they don't always want to go searching through Google Photos and all the folders you have on there. So this is just a lightweight alternative to getting that Google Photos magic.
Yeah. And they've got, a videos section for all of your videos. And you can see kind of up here, they've already done a lot of this in, this detection. Like there's animals, although this is not an animal. This is my kid buried in sand. But, it's not perfect.
Hey, we're animals. We're part of the animal class, right?
That's true. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a generous description of that feature. But yeah, it's cool. Like it's a super low profile and all stored.
I'm into those lunches, by the way. Whatever you're showing there.
So this was yesterday morning. I made lunch for my girls, and at the end of it, I was looking at it. I was like, this is like Instagram worthy. Like,
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Or this is like Pinterest. If I actually was to share anything on Pinterest, it would be these. And I'd like brag about how I make my kid really nutritious lunches and how I assemble it all.
It looks like bento boxes.
Yeah, they're little bento boxes. But I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. That requires a picture. And then I'll promptly forget about it. So
much better than a Lunchable.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. Lunchables are crap. Anyways, it's true. They are. Victor, they are.
I was raised on them.
Oh, man. But, when you go back to it with an adult kind of perspective, it's just such crap. This is no good. So we make our Lunchables. Anyways, Gallery Go is a great way to show off your Lunchable photos. So there you go.
Cool.
Thank you, Google, for that. Ron,
yeah, it's me.
I fired off my phone.
Oh, there you go.
Cheers.
Little known fact, Jason's Google Assistant trigger word is Ron. Anyway, so in great news for us Gen Xers, Bethesda has released Doom and Doom 2 to the Google Play Store. These are official ports of the original games that changed the world in the mid-90s. You can get these for $4.99 each. Doom includes the 4th expansion, Thy Flesh Consumed. And Doom 2 includes 20 community-created master levels also, 4-player multiplayer and co-op modes. And players were disappointed to find a forced login to Bethesda account in order to play the game, which is bummer. But Bethesda announced it was working on a fix to remove this requirement. Who cares? I'll sign up for Bethesda to play Doom again on my phone. Wow, this is a dream come true. I didn't even know I needed this.
Yeah. And I didn't even know that it didn't already exist, and I just never thought of it before. And then once I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, it isn't already there? It should have been there a long time ago. Isn't Doom like the Doom plays on anything example game? Like
now it does. Yes.
Yeah. Everything that exists can play Doom. And why did it take this long for Android? I don't understand.
Bethesda, I mean, the rights and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure there are probably illegal ports that were out there.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And I guess the music on this is different because the rights for the music from the original.
Like the 90210 DVDs.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Or if you find any reruns there for a long time, if you were able to like find the Wonder Years, it had all of the great music replaced with something else. And I think they finally, because the rights were just so hard to nail down.
That Wonder Years one was a heartbreaker. Oh, that show was such great music, and then
yeah, it's like a character in and of itself. Anyways, Wonder Years, Doom, basically the same thing. So,
totally.
Yeah, totally. All right, so go get yourself
the Doom of adolescence versus the Doom of real monsters.
Yeah, the Doom.
The Doom of adolescence.
So very true.
That's a good one.
All right, we got a couple of emails. This one from Rick in Winnipeg, Manitoba, says, I'm looking for a setting or an app that will auto reply to text messages. I'm a service tech in the dental industry. A lot of my clients text me to let me know about service issues. This is great, except when I'm on holiday. I turn on my out of office for my email, but need something for my texting app. I use Google Messages exclusively. Any ideas? I'm surprised that most messaging apps just don't have this sort of thing on as a default option.
Can I tell you, I don't want this for SMS, but I will say that I want this for Facebook on the dumb Facebook Messenger, because I just want to respond to every one of those like, hi, I don't use this. Text me.
Right.
I'm
not here ever.
Yeah.
You will never find me.
There are ones that exist out there. I mean, like there's where is it? I feel like I've seen this before.
Well, I found an app called SMS Auto Reply by Lemmy Apps, Lemi Apps. And seems like the reviews and the ratings are pretty good on this, but I couldn't find one definitive one that was like, oh, this is the obvious one. But I saw a lot of people kind of pointing towards this app as a way to kind of dial in, almost like an out of office message for SMS.
Don't you understand? These are my work hours right now. Why are you texting me? I do not want to talk about your life. Sorry.
Yes, I'm focusing.
I'm surprised that Google Voice doesn't have some aspect of this.
Yeah.
Right?
It just kind of seems like a feature that SMS apps should have, like email apps do. SMS apps should totally have this.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find to see if there's any of them that out there. Let's see. There's
like
auto
SMS.
Yeah,
apps
if you search, there. I haven't tried them, but there's like SMS auto reply, text message auto responder. That's the one that you found, right?
Yeah.
Text Assured has one, which I think is not in the Play Store. No, that's gone. So this is an old article. Let's see. Here's one. Auto responder for WA, auto reply bot. So it's basically we've done this before where there are apps where when you're driving, it will respond with an SMS, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Agent was an app that I used for a very long time. Even Android Auto does this for you, where it'll hit a message back. So there are ways. I just don't know why it isn't just in by default in like Google. There's
looking for what I want. There's one called I Am Auto Reply, which will auto reply to not just interesting. SMS auto reply. SMS auto reply is now available in the app. Due to Google permission policy, we cannot access SMS directly. If SMS auto reply doesn't work on your device, please install an SMS application that supports reply from notification. Interesting. So Google is blocking access to SMS. So that might be one of the reasons why you can't do this. But if you have an SMS app that supports reply from notification, you can use I Am Auto Reply.
Got it. And actually, Digmax in chat brings up something that I did read earlier, which is that some of the carriers have their own apps that do this. Yeah. AT&T says Digmax has an auto reply app. I think I saw that Verizon has one. So depending on your carrier, they might actually offer an app specifically for their network that can intercept the SMS. And maybe that goes outside of like the phone and it taps. I don't know how it would do that, but anyways, has more of a direct line to the carrier specifically from where your SMS messages are coming from to get around what you were talking about, because it sounds like that might be a platform kind of restriction on allowing these apps to work. So that might be part of the challenge. Yeah. So anyways, we got there eventually, Rick. I hope that's helpful to you. And let us know. AAA@twit.tv. Flo, you got the last one.
This one is a lovely letter from Dean Dow, who I think I might actually follow on Snapchat. So they write in, I wanted to share how much power and functionality my Note 9 had on a recent school education tour to Peru. I was in charge of capturing videos and photos for reflection later. Thanks to All About Android advice and your shared experiences, I only took my Note 9, Snapchat spectacles, my old Nikon DSLR, Type-C adapter dongle, and a cheap selfie stick. I was able to sync, upload, and create videos with ease every day. Also, thanks to Juan Bagnell for Power Director Video Editor in episode 292 for user-friendly production on my device. The iOS people were so impressed with how I was able to create the videos while chasing sunrise to sunset every day. Thanks a ton, as you never know when your show content hits the mark. Thanks, Dean, for writing that in.
That's awesome.
I love that because it's so true. Sometimes we just kind of throw stuff out there and we never know what happens with it. And then we hear from someone that totally puts it to use. And it's like, I couldn't have done this without, finding it out on the show. So love to hear from you guys, Dean.
We try it so you don't have to. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then if we like it, we'll tell you about it.
Right on. Cool. So everybody can always email us, AAA@twit.tv. We love hearing from you, and we'll fit it into the show as we have space and as we have actually something to say about it. Sometimes people email questions, and it's super specific to like a model. It's like, can you help me? I have this very specific question about this particular model and this glitch that's happening. It's like there's really little that I can do or that we can do with that.
I would actually, and this is where like I randomly go off script and create work for Jason. But if we prepared for it, I would be psyched to attempt to channel a little bit of our dear Leo and do like a all about Android call for help edition.
Oh,
right. Where if people have these issues, and a lot of times when you're having an issue, it's like you want to fix it now and you want an answer immediately. But if you give us like a week and let us research the kind of the maybe we can help some people. I don't know. That would be fun to just take a lot of questions and try to solve these people's problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Personal
Jason gets quiet.
Tech problems. We're here for both.
No, I'm totally down.
It would be fun.
I'm always down for stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah. Because I do when we find a solution or we look at so many apps, like that's like with the SMS autoresponder, my immediate thought was those car apps that we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe someday with all the time we have on our hands.
Yeah, that abundance of time. All right. You've got the next thing, Ron.
All right, yes. Well, we want to thank our next sponsor. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by ExpressVPN. And so listen, if you believe that you're not being snooped on or that nobody cares about your online data, I got something to tell you. You're wrong. Because if you listen to this show, we talk all the time about this, and you understand that privacy is under attack. All right, hackers, governments, ISPs, they're all gobbling up your data. And that's why we recommend getting the software that we trust to protect our online activity, ExpressVPN. Their apps use powerful encryption to secure your data, and ExpressVPN runs in the background of your computer or phone, and you use the internet just like you normally do. You download the app, click to connect, and you're protected, just like that. You never want to go online without ExpressVPN. It's a way to protect yourself and protect all of your data. ExpressVPN is the fastest VPN we've tried, and it costs less than $7 per month and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. ExpressVPN uses new cutting-edge server technology called Trusted Server. Trusted Server prevents the operating system and apps from ever writing to the hard drive. It's a whole new standard of privacy and security. So listen, it's time to stop hackers, Big Brother, and internet companies from grabbing all your data. You want to take back your online privacy like I did with ExpressVPN. And listen, I always kind of poo-pooed at VPNs because I thought they would slow you down or they would make it harder to access the websites that you need to. But ExpressVPN has come in and they made a solution that is so simple. You just click to connect and boom, you get this shield of security around you, of privacy. No one needs to know what you're doing on your phone or your computer because you're protected with ExpressVPN and it doesn't slow you down. That's why it's great. So protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 extra months free with a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/allaboutandroid. That's expressvpn.com/allaboutandroid for 3 extra months with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/allaboutandroid to learn more. Thanks, ExpressVPN, for protecting us and for sponsoring All About Android.
Thank you, ExpressVPN.
Protect me.
Love you. All right. And now it's time for the Arena.
Android Arena.
Ooh. All right. Looking at last week's poll, episode 430 was last week, right? Yes, it was. Flo, you are the big winner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Background Eraser comes in first. 40% of the votes. Second place would be Appy Weather. That was Team Guest, 32.43%. Third place, is it any surprise who came in last? It's me. Notify Buddy.
Jason, don't say that about yourself. Sheesh.
Well, this year it's just where I'm at this year. It's all good. It's all good. I'm still tied with Ron.
I was going to say, that's all right, though, because if you look at the results, with me being out last week, you are now tied. We are tied for last place with 58 points. And the guests are sneaking up on Flo with 85 points in second place, and Flo is in first place with 91 points.
Dun, 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 doodaloo. That's the guests coming up behind. Doodaloo, doodaloo, dun, 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 ding, ding, ding. Okay. Sorry. You were out last week. Does that mean you go first or second, Ron? I can never remember.
I probably should go first.
All right.
He goes first, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have yours installed. I did all the permissions and everything, but I stopped there.
Yeah, good idea.
Right.
Let me explain this app. It's been a while since I've done a wacky, like why does this exist app? But here it is. This app is called Face Pause. And basically what it does is it uses your front-facing camera, and when you look away from your app, it pauses the video that you're watching.
Okay.
So if open up YouTube or a video, kind of thing. I did this with the PBS app. I don't know if you have that. There's somewhere that you can play video for.
All right. So I'm looking at apparently a bunch of apps.
That's through their browser. Like they have a little browser where you can browse through it.
Okay. But I want to activate it, right? I want to turn it on. Yeah. So now it's on. Okay.
Correct.
Great. Yep. Okay. So now working. I go to would it work in Pocket Cast?
It should. Yeah, I think so. I didn't try it with Pocket Cast, but let's try it.
All right. So we'll go ahead and do this. All right. So no face detected. Okay. Hold on.
We need a split screen. Can we do a split screen of Jason's face and the app?
Okay. I'm right here. So when I move it away, it does say no face detected.
Yeah.
But then I move it towards me and it doesn't resume.
Right.
But it recognizes me.
But listen,
I see.
Jason, the app isn't called Face Play. It's called Face Pause.
Ah, okay. It knows. It knows when I'm out of the zone. So let's see here.
It works.
So, all right, away. Paused. Towards. Unpaused. Or
well, you have to
again.
Yeah. So press play. Yep. There it is.
Yep.
So so it works. So it's called Face Pause, and that way, you're on, and one of the reasons why I think this is interesting is like if you're on the subway, or if you're commuting, or if you're whatever, and when you look away, sometimes you want to pause what you're watching or doing. This is how you can do that. So there you go.
Okay.
Simple.
And now
efficient.
It will always be tracking my face for when I look away.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me turn it off now. Let's see here. Face pause enabled. Disable face pause. Let's see here. Okay, I think it's disabled now.
Yep.
Okay, yes, we're good. All right,
yes,
that's face pause.
There it is, Face Pause, free in the Google Play Store. Pause your phone with your face.
Okay.
Don't play with your face, only pause. Look at the look on Flo's face. It's worth it for that.
Flo just knows she has a winner on her hands, so she's just biding her time. Okay, that was Face Pause. My app is called Button Remap Er, and I'll give you 3 guesses what it does. So basically, it remaps your buttons. This weekend, my wife came to me with a problem. She said, I've noticed on my phone that when I use the volume, it no longer changes my ringer. It's changing my media. And I said, yeah, that's a feature, not a bug. She said, well, it's not a feature to me. I want the volume rocker to change my ringer, not my media. Because I always, reach for my phone and turn the volume down because I don't want the ringer to go off during a meeting or whatever the case may be. And I was like, oh, well, there's an app out there that would facilitate this. And then I did some searching around and I found Button Mapper which also has a Pro version for like a couple of bucks in-app purchase to get the Pro features. And Button Mapper and Button Mapper Pro are really just, it's exactly what it sounds like. You can remap any hardware button on your device. It even works with capacitive buttons. If you happen to have a capacitive button embedded into the display of your device, you want to remap that. If you get the Pro version, you can even remap things like the back button and a bunch of other things like program. The back, the recents, if there's a hardware camera button. What I got it for was to, default to the ring volume. So if you see right now, my volume changes media. And if I hit this now, my volume changes my ringer volume. See? So that's one thing that it can do. You could also swap the orientation depending on if the device is up or down and you want the volume when you're hitting it down, it's like turning it up or whatever. You can swap that around. So it has a bunch of these extra features down here, down in the bottom below, that you can kind of dial things in a little bit more to your liking, playing button sounds, how long the vibration hits when you do a long press on a particular button, customization around, the haptics and that sort of stuff. But really up here, at the top, it's essentially giving me the options based on my phone. I've got an active edge, so I could program that to do something. I could actually remove my volume functionality if I really wanted to and change volume up to do something completely different. So I turn these into shortcut keys if I so choose. And as you can see, lots of other kind of ways to customize that particular action. So let's see here. How about a single tap? When I hit volume up, it goes home. Actually, let's not do that. No action. When I do a double tap on volume up, it goes home. And then let's see here. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go, hey, it went home when I double tap the volume up. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but if you do, there you go. So I'll turn that off because that would really mess me up. But that is kind of it. It's really straightforward. I think it's designed pretty well. Everything kind of makes sense where it appears, and there's enough customization in there for it to be a nice, solid Android app. No root is needed unless you want it to work while the screen is off. Then you can apply some of the root settings once you're on a rooted phone, and that way, if I had, for instance, that volume controlling ringer instead of audio volume, if I wanted that to work when the screen is off and it's in my pocket, I would need root for that because the screen is off. It's not actively running that particular app functionality. And so that's a little bit of a bummer, but you have the ability to do it if you're willing to root or if you happen to already be on a rooted device. So keep that in mind. But the app is called Button Remapper, and a good way to remap all the buttons. Bixby button, if you don't like that Bixby button, remap it. If you don't like your slide-out keys, on a slide-out keyboard, remap them. Maybe game pads, you can remap them. Everything. It's called Button Remapper.
Can you use it for the Bixby button?
Yes, you can. But I cannot because I'm on a Pixel 3. There you go. Maybe someday the Pixel will have a Bixby button too. I don't know. That's it. Not Bixby Remapper. Button Remapper. Also supports Bixby.
Let's just call it Bixby Remapper.
Sure, right? and a few other things as well. All right, that's it. Flo, I have your app installed. Tell me all about it.
So summertime is when I actually like to do a lot of digital cleansing, and I'm constantly syncing my phones to the new phone, so I never really get to do any of that management. So I found this app called Empty Files and Folders Cleaner Pro. It just does one function, which is it cleans out the empty files and folders on your device. So Jason, if you wouldn't mind, allowing access to your Pixel 3 if you don't feel weird about that, and then clicking next, and then starting a scan.
And then yes, continue.
Say yes, continue. It gives you an alert. And now it is going to scan your folder, is going to scan your device for empty files and folders. So go ahead and tap to see the details. Okay.
There we are. Empty folders. 92 of them. I have 92 empty folders on my phone. What am I doing with my life?
Well, click through on Kindle, just because I feel like that will be the safest one for on air. Oh, no, just kidding. Don't do that then. Click over to File. The other tab, sorry.
Okay.
Is there anything in there that you can? No. Okay. You don't want to. I mean, what? I don't know what that
video is. Am I trying to delete? Am I going to delete or something?
Yeah, don't delete it because I don't want to be liable for what you're deleting from your phone.
I don't care. Snapchat. Let's do that.
Yeah, do Snapchat.
When do I ever go into Snapchat? I don't know. Never. That's good. That's a good idea. Okay. Select empty files. Folders will be deleted. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, indeed. Deleted one folder. Bye-bye, Snapchat folder. See you later. That's it. Yeah.
So then when you don't need it, you can just take it off your phone. It'll be in your library. And then when you need it again, just download it, do the maintenance. The developer behind this, he has a couple of apps and he updated this last time in May. So it seems he's keeping up on them. Support your devs. It's a $2 buy, but I personally see the value in spending a couple bucks for a utility app, something that support the dev and that will last down the line. And I believe this also works on Chrome OS. I haven't installed it on my Chromebook yet, but I plan to because, again, anything that can help me keep my files and folders nice and neat. Because when you're moving phone to phone, it creates a lot of empty folders and dumpy files that you don't need. And who needs all that mess?
A lot of noise to have to filter through. Noise? Absolutely. Empty files and folders cleaner pro. It tells you exactly what it does right in the title.
Yep.
So there you go. In fact, all three apps today tell you exactly what they do right in the title.
Very true. Right out of the gate.
Yep. Twit.to/AAA poll 431 is where you'll go to place your vote. And when you do, you will not see the results because this seems to be working for us right now. Twit.to/AAA poll 431. It'll be a surprise who wins until next week. Is it Face? Oh, sorry.
I love that we seem to have fixed this.
Don't speak so soon. We fixed it for now. Is your favorite app Face Pause that pauses things when it doesn't see your face? Is your favorite app Button Remapper that allows you to remap the buttons on your device? Or is your favorite app Empty Files and Folders Cleaner Pro that cleans your empty files and folders on your device? Twit.to/AAA poll 431. What did you vote for?
He voted for Button Remapper.
Button Remapper Pro. And I'm sorry, Victor. You can't see the poll. So there.
Wah, wah.
So
but
there.
Your vote has been counted.
But your vote has been counted. We appreciate your time and your effort. And that is that. We've reached the end of this episode. And it was lots of fun. Thanks, y'all, for watching once again each and every week. We love you guys. And Flo, love you too. What you working on?
I'm like knee deep in gaming laptops right now. You'll see an article about that go up soon in the coming weeks. So until then, just follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at OhThatFlow. I'm also on Twitch at OhThatFlow. I hope to get back to streaming in the next month. And I'd also like to say that I definitely laughed a lot on today's episode. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the giggles. It's good to have giggles.
It is good to have giggles. We need more of them. Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah. Giggles are good medicine.
They really are. Well, thank you, Flo. Thanks for coming on tonight. Good to see you. And good to see you, Ron. What's new in your world?
Just trying to stay cool, man. Trying to stay cool and get some sleep when I can.
Cool. You are cool.
If you follow me on Twitter, I'm at RonXO, and on Instagram at RonXO. That's where all the fun stuff happens. And I've talked about it previously before, but I'm working on a fun app and hardware startup tied to pinball called Scorebit. You can check it out at scorebit.io. And we are we're doing a quarterly update in a couple of days. So keep an eye out on my Twitter feed for that. I'll post a link to it, but just kind of updating where we are in our progress for those of you who are following along at home. So we're getting closer. It's fun. It's cool. We made a video this time, so I'm excited.
Very nice. I think Victor was getting a little impatient. He threw up the timer while you were talking.
Oh, yikes. All right, well,
He's like, oh, you still got 30 seconds, Ron.
He wants to play me off. That's all it is. Yeah, I know where Victor's coming from.
Oh.
So. There it is.
You are indeed correct. He's playing you off.
I want to thank Leo. I want to thank Jason and Flo. I couldn't have done it without, and of course Victor, my TD. Couldn't have done this without you. We did it, Victor. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Very nice. Oh, but man, we need to get a buzzer at the end of that, or an oh yeah, or something. Yeah. Good work, Victor. Thank you for making all of the awesome media for the show and everything that you do. Appreciate it.
No problem. It was fun.
Thank you for making the hardware clock. You can find me here on Twit. I've got a review of the Oculus Quest that's going to hit Hands on Tech later this week. A little sneak preview. I really don't want to give it back to Leo because it's that much fun. Anyways, that's a little sneak preview. But that's coming up, and, Tech News Weekly. I'm here on the network doing shows, and you can see me here at twit.tv, as well as on Twitter at Jason Howell. But that's it for this week. Leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. Send us emails at AAA@twit.tv. Find us on Twitter at Android Show. You can find our Arena apps list. All the apps that we've ever had in the Arena can be found. It's a curated list by our fans. We really appreciate it. twit.to/Android apps. Show notes and past episodes can be found at twit.tv/AAA. There you're going to find everything you need to know about this show, when we record, which is every Tuesday, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can catch it live, twit.tv/live. You can find podcast links there. Subscribe to the audio feeds, the video feeds. Find a link to YouTube. All of our episodes, everything is detailed there. And that's just the main place to go for show notes and everything else. twit.tv/AAA. That is it for this week. We've reached the end of another episode of All About Android. We'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Project Soli.
Soli.